The best putters in the world get 4 things right when they make putts: a perfect setup, a perfect stroke, a perfect speed, and a perfect direction. Seymour's patented and proven rifle scope technology putting system helps golfers improve all 4 areas. Here's how. First, get in a comfortable posture. Square the face to the target line using the putter's alignment line. Then hide the red dot. Doing these 3 things will set you up in an optimal stance, square to the putter, square to the target line, and with your head, shoulders, hips, and hands in alignment. Now you're locked onto the target, like radar, free to putt with confidence the same way every time. Take your game to the next level by becoming a great putter with a Seymour.
All right, Mr. Berry, here's your golf swing today. So we got you from 2 different angles, and we're going to right now focus on this part of your golf swing. There is address on the left, and there's impact on the right, and you basically look like the same person, right? From address and impact. And what we're trying to, now, granted, Jordan is, I think, 23, right? So he's a little bit different in flexibility. He's the #1 guy in the world, or top 5 in the world. There's both of you at impact. All right. So you know what we kind of talked about is trying to focus as you go into the impact area, into hitting the golf ball. Feel that your hips move. And right there is you see where you're flipping your wrists and your hands to try to square that club face. And your hands are working so much in this area, it's because your hips haven't turned. Right. All right, so we kind of get the belly button to the target, and that 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock swing will definitely get the golf swing to your body to start turning more rather than flipping more. All right,
and I'm really not giving any bend on my left leg.
Right. Yeah. Right. All right. So here was before, after. All right. As far as contact, solid hits. We need to get your weight ahead of the golf ball and the handle ahead of the golf ball. And here's your pressure trace from when you swing. Most of the weight goes to the back. There's your back foot. There's your shift. Right. And you go to right in impact, you're about 60-40. There's really no lateral movement, like as in you're stepping into the swing. So what we did here was we kind of put a ball more forward in your stance, and we called it a reach drill, where you felt like you reached further out to the golf ball. All right, and then we got this to happen. So there's the rotation. Again, try to fight that urge to lift that back foot. I think it's just the product of us coming out of the holiday season and us not being as flexible and hitting golf balls. But the more you start to hit your ball, the more you'll be able to turn your body. And right. That's just going to keep you more centered to be able to come back to the same position. But watch the difference in where that golf ball, that little white ball between your feet go. Right, and this is about halfway up. Right. There's impact for both golf swings. So now you definitely, just by putting that ball forward, it kind of gives you that lean. It's basically the step that baseball players do without making the step. Right. Okay. So that's going to help you hit more solid shots at impact. The last thing we talked about was the club face. It's not moving. You basically want, right? No, Jordan's not a good representation of this. Tiger is. So we talked about putting the towel under your left armpit. So we kind of put a towel here for you to hold on to. And if he holds on to that towel, right? You can see how his hands are able to turn over and square the club face.
Right.
All right. What we showed, I don't know why yours froze up. There we go. We showed you at impact. Daylight.
Yep.
Right, and that's what's holding the golf club open, which is in turn causing the golf club to spin or turn the ball to spin and make that motion. So, in a nutshell, before work on contact is the first thing, because nothing will be able to be straightened out unless you hit the ball more solid. Once you get the golf ball more solid and the ball's still turning to the right, put that towel under your left arm and just hit a couple balls. What's actually happening is making those hands rotate over. Jump up on the mat real quick. All right, so we'll just keep doing it as it's live. We're still recording here. All right, so under the left armpit. Now just slow motion here. All right, go to 9 o'clock. Halfway back. Now slowly go to the 3 o'clock position. There you go. See it? That's right. Take it back down slow for a second. Right, stop right there. See, that's the motion that we're looking at, right? As opposed to that motion.
Right.
All right.
Rory McIlroy is only 5'9", 161 pounds. But in the U.S. Open, he bombed his drives an average of over 310 yards. Our question is, how does a golfer Rory's size get so much length off the tee? The key to generating distance is what's called the kinetic chain, drawing energy from the ground up through the legs, through the torso, into the arms, and into the club. And in the middle of that kinetic chain is a critical link, the hips. And it's Rory's extraordinary hip action that caught the eye of Dr. Greg Rose. At the Titleist Performance Institute, Dr. Rose has worked with many of the world's best golfers, including Rory, using technology to analyze aspects of the golf swing that are difficult to see with the naked eye.
Rory's got that beautiful tempo, but as he comes through impact, all of a sudden something very different happens, which makes a lot of us sports science guys look at this and go, wow, what's going on there? If we look at hip speed, most amateurs are around 300 to 350 degrees per second. That's how fast they're rotating. Most tour players are around 550 degrees. Rory gets to this amazing 720 degrees per second on the downswing.
What's truly remarkable about Rory's hip acceleration is that it has another gear, reverse.
So if I'm looking at anatomy, you got to understand your abdominals, they run diagonally. Those are called your oblique abdominals. They start on your rib cage and they run down to your pelvis. So imagine it's like a rubber band attached to either side, and as that rubber band is contracting, it's going to grab both sides and pull them closer together. So in Rory's case, those abdominals fire so hard, it actually takes his lower body and it actually spins in the opposite direction. Right there, it's actually moving 377 degrees per second the opposite direction, which is just crazy.
In other words, for a split second, Rory's hips actually move backward faster than most golfers ever move their hips forward. This reverse rotation is extremely rare. Out of the hundreds of pros he's analyzed, Dr. Rose has only seen it a handful of times. And while it isn't the key to Rory's length, it's an amazing indicator of the intense torque Rory uses to generate ball speeds of over 175 miles per hour, among the fastest in the world. Of course, Rory McIlroy didn't win the U.S. Open just by being long off the tee. His ball striking helped him set the Open record, hitting an amazing 62 out of 72 greens in regulation. For ESPN Sports Science, I'm John Brinkus.
Well, the most important thing in a golf swing to me is the movement of the lower body from the top of the swing. And if you don't mind, I'll demonstrate. First off, you start down below with your knees and your hips. At the top of the swing, you move the lower part of your body, not your shoulders, the lower part of your body, letting your arms and hands follow, bringing you into position to hit. But this is the first movement, there. Then you release at the bottom. Most people do it entirely opposite. They rotate their shoulders first instead of their lower body. As a result, they come across the ball and hit the outside of the ball instead of the back of it. If you don't mind, I'll hit a ball, and the first thing to watch is what starts first from the top of the swing.